The Bahrain Center for International Strategic and Energy Studies, Dirasat, has been running this flagship event for 4 consecutive years since the year 2018. And this year, for the very first time, the event is being held with regional and global partners on a subject matter that is fast becoming one of the most pertinent issues being discussed on a global level. This year, we have dedicated the symposium and forum to examine the impact of energy transition in the MENA region. The planning of the event began at an early stage with committee members from each of the partner institutions, and we are fortunate to have this event convene on this high level. It is an honor for us to be joined here today in this press conference with the president of the IAEE, Dr. Peter R. Hartley, PhD, is the George and A. Peterson Professor of Economics at Rice University, and a Rice Faculty Scholar of Energy Economics for the Baker Institute. Additionally, we are joined by Dr. Fahad Al-Turki, Vice President, Head of Research at the King Abdullah Petroleum Studies and Research Center, CAPSARC. I'm also joined by my colleagues at Dirasat, Dr. Umar Ahmed Al-Abaidli, Director of Research and Studies here at the Center, and Sheikha Naila Al-Khalifa, Director of Communications and Knowledge Management. We decided to focus on the issues or the issue of energy due to its persistent importance to modern life. While energy has been a key resource since antiquity, its significance took off during the first industrial revolution. It has been at the heart of each of the 3 subsequent industrial revolutions. During the 18th century, when England began to transition from an agricultural economy to the industrial powerhouse that would command one of the largest empires in history, a key invention was the steam engine, which presented unprecedented opportunities to society. Humans could, for the first time, turn heat into motion at a time and a location of their pleasing. They were no longer at the mercy of temperamental winds for their manufacturing and transportation needs, nor were they beholden to the currents of a river to power their textile mills. Naturally, the steam engine was nothing more than a scientific curiosity without a reliable source of fuel. Fortunately for the United Kingdom, its coal mines provided it with the energy required to power its steam engines, and before long, its medieval sailboats turned into imposing ironclads, and its quaint market towns transformed into intermediating factory-filled metropolises. This demographic group and economic surge combined to produce an unprecedented scholarly enlightenment that will still serve as the foundation of modern scientific inquiry during the 21st century. Later, with the coming of oil and gas, steel and chemical manufacturing became the new engines of economic growth, propelling the newly established German Republic and the United States also of America to the top of the global economic hierarchy. As science continued to advance at a breathtaking pace, the next transformation would surely arrive quicker than the last. And indeed, by the end of the Second World War, electricity gave birth to the electronics revolution, with nuclear power offering a fundamentally new form of energy. Thus, the third industrial revolution was underway. The twists and turns were no longer or were not over by the late 20th century, and the fourth industrial revolution was upon us, with the internet, artificial intelligence, robotics, and renewable energies representing the key pillars. Today's press conference, which includes people contributing from thousands of miles away in clear video audio, is a perfect illustration of how far we have come during the last 250 years. The pace of technological advancement has become astonishing, as sophisticated artificial intelligence algorithms have overtaken humans in complex tasks such as driving, medical diagnosis, and customer support. Energy remains critical to powering these technologies, and with the emergence of cryopractic currencies that require millions of watts to power their mining operations, energy is now a key player in the financial industries. These are but a few of the reasons why we have dedicated our conference to the issue of energy transition. As we enter the 21st century and the research for more sustainable alternatives to exhaustible hydrocarbons was ramped up. An opportunity for the Middle East to be at the heart of this transition emerged. Given the global circumstances, this event will take place in hybrid format, where many of our diverse speakers will join us to address an audience of practitioners, researchers, policy makers, and energy experts. The session will include topics ranging from advancing green energy in the MENA region, technological advancement in green energy and the CCE, circular carbon economy, artificial intelligence and energy transition, and green uses for fossil fuels. The countries represented in the program are diverse, both in their backgrounds and specializations, which promises a very thought-provoking discussion. The organizing committee also presented a unique opportunity for researchers in the region to present research papers which have undergone a thorough examination and selection process by a group of peers specializing in the field of energy economics. We at Dirasat are excited and proud to have the second MENA IAEE Symposium and the fifth Dirasat Annual Forum take place in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and welcome all interested delegates and participants to register through our center's online platforms. I would like to now give the floor to Dr. Peter Hartley to deliver his remarks. Through our center's online platforms. I would like to now give the floor to Dr. Peter Hartley to deliver his remarks.
Dear Symposium and Forum participants, as IAEE President for 2022, I'd like to welcome you to the second IAEE MENA Symposium and the fifth annual Dirasat Forum, following on the very successful first IAEE Middle East and North Africa Symposium held in Abu Dhabi on the campus of Khalifa University on December 7, 2019. I apologize for not being able to join you in person, but the have required me to miss too many lectures for my classes at Rice University this semester. I would first like to thank Dirasat for again hosting this joint event. This is the fifth Dirasat Forum, and we are honoured that Dirasat has partnered their event with ours and are the master host. We would not have the IAEE MENA Symposium without them. If you want more information on Dirasat, I direct you to their website, www.dirasat.org.bh. The IAEE is very pleased to be involved in this event for several reasons. First, the event itself is of high quality, with many provocative and timely sessions planned, focused especially on energy transition and energy technology issues. Second, the IAEE sees the Middle East and North Africa region as critical to its organisation and its future. This region is, of course, still the supplier of much of the world's primary energy. What happens here has a profound impact on energy markets worldwide. Beyond traditional energy sources, the MENA region also has extraordinary solar resources, and harvesting those in form that can also be exported is seen as a critical part of the region's future. The MENA region also has a relatively young population and is experiencing rapid economic growth. When combined with the relatively harsh climate, the consequence is a region that is also becoming much more important as an energy consumer. All these factors are also spurring research into new energy technologies and policies. This makes the MENA region of great interest to energy economists in general and the IAEE in particular. I have long supported IAEE increasing its footprint in this region, and am delighted to see that vision coming to fruition. As part of that effort, I was very pleased to visit Saudi Arabia in 2016 as an IAEE distinguished lecturer, when the Saudi affiliate of the IAEE was starting its Riyadh chapter. The IAEE is extremely keen to see more events in the MENA region in the future. The third reason IAEE is very pleased to be involved in this event, and related to what I just said, is that the IAEE is holding its 44th International Conference on the campus of CAPSARC, February 5 to 8, 2023. We are pleased also that this involves a strategic partnership between the IAEE, the Saudi Arabian Energy Economics Association, CAPSARC, and the Saudi Economic Association. I also have heard that in addition to the excellent plenary sessions at this symposium forum, you have an extremely exciting concurrent session program. We hope that all the researchers working on energy economics issues in the MENA region, including those giving papers at this forum, will submit their work for presentation at the Riyadh conference in February 2023. The fourth reason that this event is very important for IAEE, and especially our long-standing support for students working in energy economics, many of whom contribute excellent papers to our conference concurrent sessions, is that we have an extremely long-standing relationship with Saudi Aramco to support student activities and student attendance at our conferences. For that, we are extremely grateful. This last point is of special interest to me as an educator. We have had excellent students at Rice University from the MENA region over the years that I have been at Rice. These have included PhD students who have gone on after receiving their doctorate to do great things. We are very proud of you. I'm also very pleased to say that we have also had excellent MENA students in our Masters of Energy Economics program at Rice University. The MENA students contribute a lot to our classes, and their expertise and knowledge adds a lot to discussion in the classrooms. I'd now like to take a few moments, if I may, to give a general overview of the IAEE. Let me share my screen. What's going on? I see it's somehow or other I've got to the end. Okay, so I'd like to first point out the IAEE objectives. So the International Association for Energy Economics has as first objective to facilitate worldwide information flow and exchange of ideas on energy issues. We think it's very important to encourage people from different countries to speak about their experiences so that other countries don't have to reinvent the wheel, but can learn from what others have done. Of course, we also promote the exchange of ideas on energy issues from different disciplinary perspectives. We, of course, have lots of economists in our association, but there are also lots of engineers and also people from legal area, finance, government, and, of course, the energy companies. And a hallmark of our conferences, we promote the exchange of ideas about energy economics issues from these different disciplinary perspectives. The second objective of the International Association for Energy Economics is to facilitate high quality research. We do that, of course, by having conferences where people can speak about their research and get feedback from their fellow members. But we also have some journals I'm going to talk about later where you can publish your research. And of course, as I mentioned already, our conferences take a special effort to provide events for students. But beyond that, we also sponsor students attending our conference. And we also have on our website information specifically focused on students. For example, you can find on their database of energy economics programs, educational programs that you can apply to. We accomplish our mission through providing leading edge publications and electronic media, which I'll say a few words about in a moment, organising international regional conferences and regional conferences like this one, and building networks of energy concerned professionals. One thing that people say about our conferences they really love is when you come back to the conference, you see the same people, meet some of your old friends, and that's really considered a really valuable aspect of our conferences. Membership in 2021, we had about 3,050 members or more. It fluctuates a little bit. See here, I mentioned we have people from different disciplines, 20% academic, 5% utilities, 2% trade associations, 7% oil and gas companies, 16% researchers and consultants, 6% government, 2% financial institutions, 6% international organizations, 20% students, 16% other, which includes the lawyers and so on that I mentioned, journalists and others. Our members come from over 110 countries, and you can see them on the coloured in on the map. And the green ones are the ones that have national affiliates. 1,600 of our members come from Europe, 600 North America, that's US, Canada, and Mexico, 850 from Asia, Africa, Latin America, and the Middle East. And as I mentioned, we're very pleased to see growth in the Middle East, but we're also focusing on other countries in the developing world, Asia, Latin America, and Africa. We have, as I mentioned, the colours in green, 30 international affiliates. The largest affiliates are in the United States, France, the UK, Italy, Sweden, Germany, and Nigeria. As I mentioned, there's some focus on students, but we also have a lot of benefits for all of our members. All our IAEE members receive the following benefits, including subscription to the Energy Journal, the Economics of Energy, Environmental Policy, and the Energy Forum, access to conference proceedings, participation in our working paper series, and then particularly for students, we have reduced conference fees, including actually scholarships to attend our conferences. So particularly oriented to students coming from developing countries. Networking through our worldwide membership, of course, applies to all of our members. And part of the other benefit you get as part of that networking is you may be speaking to one of your future referees. And then for students in particular, they have the eligibility to take part in student events such as the Student Happy Hour, poster sessions. We have a prize for the best poster. PhD Day, where the students who are close to completing their dissertations have longer time to present their paper than they would normally have in a concurrent session. But we also have designated discussants for each of the papers in the PhD Day, so you get very detailed feedback from your fellow students. And some of our professorial members also attend the PhD Day and give you comments. And then we have a best paper competition at most of our conferences where the students can submit their papers, they're judged beforehand, and then 4 are selected to come to a special concurrent session where the papers are presented. There's a panel of judges and prizes are awarded. And we also have a case study competition that's being supported by Saudi Aramco. And their students are given a case study, form a team, and the team, again, the presentations that the students prepare are judged beforehand, and the best few are invited to conference to present their case study, and again, their prizes are awarded. Turning to our publications, our flagship publication is, of course, the Energy Journal, which has been around for quite some time. It's an influential source of energy economics articles. And as you can see, in terms of its impact factor, it still has a very strong 5-year impact factor. In fact, a lot of our articles continue to be cited well after they're published and considered foundational articles in the energy economics field. The Energy Journal continues to place in the top quartile, ranked against peer-reviewed publications for energy economics titles, according to a number of sources that measure citations. And one thing you want to take into account when you consider the citation or the impact factor of the Energy Journal is that we don't actually publish as many papers, we don't have as many issues as some of the competition, and that's one thing that will raise their impact factor. So if you think about the quality of our articles, they're actually very high. We now have 6 regular issues published annually, plus occasional special issues. A newer journal that's also peer-reviewed is the Economics of Energy and Environmental Policy. It's our policy-oriented publication, also includes is scholarly and research-based, but the emphasis is on having articles that are less technical, easy to read and accessible to a wider audience. And we don't ban mathematics from them, but we encourage you to explain much more clearly in words the point you're trying to make. This is all a rising source of scholarly and research-based content. Impact factor 3.217 in 2019, 5-year impact factor 2.013. We have a third publication called the IAEE Energy Forum. This has thematically focused content. So we choose a theme for each Energy Forum issue. Recent themes have included one on energy markets, another one on the impact of the drop in oil prices, energy efficiency, energy poverty, electric vehicles, weaknesses in the world's electricity systems. Once the topic has been chosen, we invite our members to submit short articles addressing the issues, and a small number of them are selected for publication in the forum. Special issues also highlight content from the IAEE Cornerstone conferences. So we have people who sit in on the various plenaries, maybe some of the concurrents, ones that caught their attention, and they write them up for the Energy Forum. And of course, the Energy Forum also carries information about affiliate and chapter events and activities. So we invite you all to submit your, if you're having a conference for your affiliate or some other activity, to submit it to the Energy Forum. A more recent set of activity that we've been engaged in, we did have electronic media tweets about our conferences and things like that in the past. Electronic, we have Facebook channel and various other electronic media presence, but with the pandemic and the reduction in the number of face-to-face conferences, we also beefed up our electronic presentations, including a very extensive program of webinars and podcasts on topics that address all facets of energy economics. Popular topics include hydrogen as an energy carrier, regional energy economics, energy transition issues, energy policy. There's even been some podcasts on student career advice. And of course, we've had quite a few looking at fluctuations in oil prices. So I invite you also to go to the IAEE website and to check out our extensive electronic offerings. One other thing that the IAEE sells, you'll notice my tie. I have an IAEE tie. So I'm advertising some merchandise. You too can buy an IAEE tie. And we have some other merchandise as well. With all these great benefits, one thing I'd like to, of course, I hope you've given you all very good reasons for wanting to join the IAEE, especially to get the tie, of course. But I'm pleased to say that everyone participating in the symposium will be made a complimentary member of the IAEE for 1 year. That'll enable you to sample our offering of services and make you even more convinced that you ought to maintain your membership and contribute to our association in future years. Thank you very much for your attention.
For his words. I would like to thank Dr. Peter Hartley for his words, and now we move on to present Dr. Fahd Al-Turki, Vice President, Head of Research at the King Abdullah Petroleum Studies and Research Center, CAPSARC, to offer his word regarding the upcoming symposium and forum. Dr. Fahd, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Hamad, and good morning, everybody. As introduced, my name is Fahd Al-Turki, the Vice President and Head of Research at King Abdullah Petroleum Studies and Research Center. I am also a board member at the Saudi Association for Energy Economics and the chairman of its Research and Events Committee. I participate today wearing both hats, as both the association and CAPSARC are co-hosts of this event, which is an honor for the two, the center and the association, to be part of it. Dirasat is an important partner for us, and the IAEE Regional Symposium for the MENA region in its second year, despite the disruption of the COVID pandemic, is in fact an important forum for the regional think tanks and academics, as well as think tanks from our peers in the region and from around the world, to gather the latest research in energy economics, especially as the world and the diverse countries in the MENA region are in the middle of this current and global as well as local energy transition. The theme of the symposium, which will take place in early March, as you may know, is how the energy transition toward the green future impacts the MENA region. With the additional challenges imposed by the COVID-19 pandemic, we have our work cut out for us. The region includes a diverse group of countries, including the world's biggest hydrocarbon oil and gas producers and exporters, a number of developing countries with resource challenges, but with an enormous set of opportunities to leapfrog the current challenge into an exciting new future. A key to the path forward is the economic opportunities around energy. And that's why I think the symposium, the regional symposium, is a critical platform to discuss these related issues. In fact, it is critical that researchers in the MENA region work together to tackle these challenges, as to maximize the well-being of the regional countries as well as citizens. The region also presents the rest of the world with opportunities that will be essential to achieving the global goals of ambitious climate challenges. During the symposium, we will have a number of important discussions that are supportive of these objectives. The energy transition will see a transition in the region physical as well as regulatory regimes, which will help drive the shift of countries' energy mix. But the challenge will be how to ensure there is a just transition and an economically viable plan and pathway toward the green growth. The MENA region has already demonstrated itself as a thought leader and emerging technology leader in considering how to extract the maximum value of our hydrocarbon resources, while at the same time minimizing its negative externality. With the growing implementation of the circular carbon economy approach that was introduced back in 2020 as part of the Saudi contribution to the G20, the symposium will discuss related policies, best practices, and regional potential contribution, as well as its challenges. We will also discuss artificial intelligence, which is artificial intelligence is not only a new catchphrase, but it's instead a set of enabling capabilities that, when used to help the make energy transition smoother and successful. The continued growth in the continued growth in computational power with exponential expansion of relevant data available for processing make the traditional methods increasingly obsolete. The computational methods that we call artificial intelligence provide enormous opportunities as well as a promise, and as well as to address some of the policies and challenges toward green growth. Finally, the big questions for the region oil and gas producers is how to make the shift in utilizing fossil fuel to ensure a sustainable future. The circular carbon economy approach presents a pragmatic approach or concept and a framework that will need to be realized with the technological breakthrough, so that the twin goals of economic viability as well as utilization of current resources in a clean and just transition toward a cleaner future for the energy sector. I look forward to the discussion during the event in early March, and I invite the participants today to join us to detail these issues in more concrete and a clearer way, inshallah. Thank you, and back to you, Ahmed.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fahad Al-Turki, for these words. And now we open the floor to the press for a short questions and answer session. Who wishes to go first? Yeah. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good morning and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. It's my special privilege to be part of this session. My name is Shrikant. I represent the Daily Tribune newspaper, Bahrain. My question is, like, you know, the whole of GCC and the Middle East region basically depends on an economy supported by the hydrocarbon energy sector. So when we talk of green energy growth, my question is, doesn't the green energy economic ambition contradict with the existing hydrocarbon energy existing equation? Doesn't it contradict?
Dr. Omar, would you like to answer?
Good morning. Thank you for this question. I don't think it contradicts. I think the two are pretty well aligned, because what the GCC countries are doing is using their oil wealth to invest in capacity in the green domain. One of the almost obvious examples of this is in Saudi Arabia's current investments in hydrogen, which and it's become already the world leader in hydrogen as an energy source, and it would not have been able to do this had it not leveraged its hydrocarbon wealth to create this expertise. But we're also seeing something similar in all the other remaining Gulf countries, where they want to become leaders in solar energy and in other forms of renewable. So as long as the hydrocarbon revenues are used to invest in building capacity, green capacity, which is what all the countries are trying to do according to their economic visions, then the two goals are aligned. And this is also reflected in the commitments that most of the Gulf countries have made regarding carbon neutrality in the coming years. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Omar. Anyone else, if you could kindly introduce yourself and the organization that you represent. Who's next?
Hello, this is Adib from Alfanar company. Yeah, I would like to ask the panelist here that how do you see the role of the green hydrogen on the energy mix in the MENA region? How the green hydrogen will act and evolve?
Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm happy to answer this question very briefly, but I think my colleague, Dr. Fahad Al-Turki, would be better placed to add after my comments. But certainly the hydrogen is very attractive because it's a clean source of energy. The costs of deploying it and the investments required have still not reached the stage where it's comparable to what we have in fossil fuels, but the improvement in the viability of hydrogen as an energy source during the last 5 years has been dramatic, and it represents a genuine success story regarding local R&D for countries such as Saudi Arabia. And therefore, I expect, and I believe, long-term deals are already being signed or are on the way of being signed with countries such as Japan and South Korea. And so I think that hydrogen will have a significantly enhanced role in the energy mix in the coming 20 years. But perhaps, Dr. Fahad, you could add to that.
Thank you, Dr. Omar. And just to add to this question as well as the previous question, I think all of these renewable energy initiatives that are taking place either in the kingdom or in the region or elsewhere in the world should not be seen as contradicting the investments in the hydrocarbon sector. We rather look at it as complementing. The future demand for energy is likely to increase in all its forms, and limiting demand on either one source or another might have consequences or unwanted consequences on the well-being of the citizens, the developments of the countries, and so on. So it's important to realize that these initiatives complement each other in meeting the future demand. Now, the region here is becoming as well a leading region in terms of investments in renewable energy, be it solar or wind and or hydrogen. And we've seen a number of projects that being introduced either in the GCC region or in some North African countries that fall into that category. In terms of hydrogen, I think whatever applies to the renewable applies to the hydrogen. In addition to what Dr. Omar mentioned, the cost is not yet making it as a viable source for or alternative source for energy as compared to solar and wind. Nonetheless, we've seen a number of countries in the region invest in hydrogen and technology and research and development with the aim to reduce the cost. And we've seen the shipments of blue hydrogen from Saudi Arabia to Japan a few years ago, the continuation of investments in green hydrogen in the northwest of Saudi Arabia. So I think the way forward is to look at a holistic approach to the future demand for energy, and all of that is included in the framework or Saudi Arabia introduced back in 2020, the circular carbon economy. Thank you, and back to you, Omar.
Thank you very much, Dr. Omar and Dr. Fahad. Anyone else has any question? Is there anybody else interested in raising a question? All right. Okay. Dr. Fahad, are you saying something?
While we're waiting, I'd just like to add a few things. We have aimed at having a diverse group of countries represented in each panel in the sessions in the conference. This would give you a well-rounded approach. So basically, we have more than 10 MENA countries represented in the program. We are expecting very high-profile speakers in the energy sectors to be presenting in the opening and keynote session as well. We mentioned that the venue will be announced soon, but we are considering a hybrid or in-person event. We are still open for in-person, but depending on the global circumstances, we are going to be flexible. We are also very proud to have this partnership with CAPSARC, IAEE, and the SAEE. It was a very rewarding experience working with them over the past month, and I just wanted to mention that while we're waiting for more questions. Raj, you usually have questions.
Thank you, Shankar. I thought you just closed. I was having some trouble with the technology. That's why the delay. Well, I don't have a specific question, but then I would like to ask Dr. Omar or the Darasat team about the topic that we are going to discuss in this symposium. Very interesting, the energy and the environment, especially with the kingdom's pledge on. Can you hear me? Okay, with the ambitious goal of net zero carbon emission by 2060, we've been discussing throughout the past months about how the think tanks like the Dataset has come forward with their research, which has contributed heavily during the pandemic for policymakers to come up with solutions and overcome challenges, etc., etc. With energy and the environment issues taking a prime seat, and with Bahrain specifically having pledged this, taken this ambitious goal ahead, and its economic recovery plan and everything, how does the Dataset plan to focus in terms of its research and studies? Is there anything in the pipeline? Maybe Dr. Omar can tell me more. Any new studies coming up? Anything lined up for 2022?
Yes, absolutely. So thanks for the question. My colleague, Dr. Abdallah Al-Abbasi, who's just finished his PhD, has been working on using actually artificial intelligence to study energy issues in Bahrain. And he's just completed his PhD, and his thesis will shortly be published and made available, which tackles a lot of these issues. And he's also been working on many different projects, which we will be sharing, disseminating via our media channel, media and social media channels in the coming weeks. And he also has lots of exciting partnerships with colleagues working in other organizations. So the short answer is stay tuned. Surely we will have lots of research in the next 2 or 3 months. We'll see lots of research relating to this being made available on our website, and we will continue to build that as our research team expands and deepens its interest in environmental issues.
Thank you, Dr. Omar. Since I came in last, can I ask one more question to Dr. Fahad? Well, those excellent questions were answered on the complementary aspect of the concern raised by my colleague. Dr. Fahad, how would you give us, press a chance to highlight how the region is going to benefit from the forum assets, the symposium and the speakers? And when you say like we're coming up with papers, presentations, discussions, how do you think this is going to take us, especially after the step behind that we've taken during the pandemic years, and with energy and environment again being very important? As we know, the COVID-19 has posed greater challenges in terms of these two. Dr. Fahad, would you help me with that, please?
Thank you. Good question. I think there are so many benefits that contributing to or attending the workshop or the symposium will contribute to. I think one of the main aims of the symposium is first to discuss the main issues related to the region, including the path forward for energy demand, green growth, energy transition, artificial intelligence technologies, the circular carbon economy. There are many cutting-edge issues that will be highlighted during the discussion, and how it affects the region and what's the region view on these issues. The sessions will also include a number of leaders within the energy sector in the region and globally. So we will have representatives from the International Association of Energy Economics. We will have a number of representatives of the industry in the region, and we will have representatives from Dirasat research as well as CAPSARC research that will be highlighted. And I think more importantly, above all of this, is the contribution of the recurring sessions. We have received more than 25 papers during the process of preparing for the sessions. And these research range from regional issues to global issues, and will be discussed during the recurrent sessions during the symposium. on the first day and in the second day, which will address either policy challenges, economic challenges, as well as energy transition related issues. This is the second IAEE symposium in the region, and hopefully with the situation on COVID-19 easing, we'll continue to have this on an annual basis in the Middle East.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fahad. Anyone else? Any further questions before we wrap up?
Yeah, I have another question, please. So when we are speaking about the energy transition and circular carbon economy, so when we would see the regulation for the CO2 production and the CO2 price in the MENA region, is this could be in the coming 2 to 3 years?
What's your kind name?
My name is Adib Al Amin from Al Fanar company.
Dr. Fahad, go ahead.
Shukran, Adib. I think this is the $1 million question on what is the viability of a carbon market, and what is the price associated with it, and what is the implications of it on different sectors. I don't think even during the symposium this question will have a clear cut on this is the price, this is when the market will take place, and this is what the implication of it is. This is an open discussion still at the political level across countries, not only in the region, but also in globally in North America, Europe, Asia, and you name it. And one of the issues that we've been highlighted during the COP meetings. So I don't think we will have an answer to this, but we will advance the discussion on these issues during the symposium. There will be, of course, these issues will be raised. Some alternatives will be presented. Some options will be given. But I emphasize the role of the holistic approach at looking at energy. In particular, the circular carbon economy that captures all sources of energies to address a future demand in more responsible as well as limiting the negative externalities of any of these sources on either climate or people or development of countries. There's a lot of talk about stranded assets, stranded people when we talk about energy transition, and any policy, be it market for carbon or pricing carbon, will definitely be part of the discussion during the symposium.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fahad. I think we'll wrap up the press conference. So finally, I would like to thank all for attending this press conference, and I look forward to seeing you soon at the symposium and forum, and also in future Dirasat events. Thank you so much, and wish you all a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.